What's going on, Capricorn? Welcome to your weekly forecast for the week of November 23rd through the 29th of 2020. Brian here as always, and I appreciate you so much for being here. Well, big build up to the eclipses coming the following week, right at the beginning, the following Monday, of course. And we get Neptune direct in your third house, so let's take a look at the chart and see what's up this week. Neptune direct is a big deal. Neptune rules the unseen energies. It's very intuitive. It's very spiritual, but it can be delusional. And especially when Neptune comes direct, it's like it gets that power back, and we can be delusioned by the environment that we truly desire, or even when it comes to our expression. So definitely something to look at deep within, and to trust your intuition about what needs to be said and what needs to happen, and what gaps need to be bridged to make your close-knit life come together the way you want it. And it's a big deal because we have the nodes here squaring Neptune, and we're getting eclipses in your 12th and 6th house coming up. So this is definitely a time to get your reality in order, and to make sure that you're doing the little things, and to not be delusioned by the closer aspects of life. Like that's very, like the third house is very much like your immediate life, right? And then like the opposite being the ninth house is like, oh, the expanse of the universe and the world and what's going on and all that. And it's much more narrow minded here in a sense with Neptune in the third. And like you have to really narrow down the reality you want, and to not like over stress about what it needs to look like. And you can't get too lost in the unknown right now. You definitely have to find balance there. It's more about the daily life and like how you can put that work in and make it happen for yourself, and not to be in any way delusioned about the environment you can have, but to put in that work to get the environment that you want. And that Sun in Sag is in your 12th house, so definitely a big shift here that you're going through with the Sun in Sag. And it's definitely like it's interesting with the South Node there, because Capricorns haven't gone through this with the South Node there in 18 years. In the 12th house is a lot of the times it is like this spirituality or bust, but right now it's like, okay, the allness, the wholeness of all things, and the unseen is very important, and it's being illuminated, and you don't want it to get too comfortable and like escape. You definitely want to be real and be like present in life, and like do the work and help others, I would say, is a big thing too with this Sun here in the 12th house. And it's going to trine over to Chiron in your 4th, so it is by really tapping into your inner security and your inner emotions that you can more or less bridge the gap between the unseen world and the seen world. And that there's like a lot of healing there, especially with Mars at 16 degrees starting to really move forward in your 4th house. Like your emotions are going to take you in the right direction right now, and they're going to give you that drive you need, but you have to trust in that, and you have to trust in the universe. But again, find the balance to get your environment where you want it. And then that Sun's going to quincunx Uranus this week in Taurus in your 5th house. So I would say that Uranus in your 5th is definitely trying to shake up and help you find your power, even with a Mars in the 4th, where it's not like the strongest place for Mars, even though Mars is in Aries, so it is strong, but that 4th house is Aries for you. So it's like taking emotional action for your true desires that come from an unseen place within you, but that you're playing the reality that you want, and that you're going to stand in that, and you're going to shake things up with Uranus in your 5th and do it your way, and do it in a way that breaks you free from any sort of self-doubt, so you can be in your full creative self. And then Venus is going to make that opposition to Uranus this week from your 11th house of Scorpio. So it is the really like being able to disconnect and connect to what feels good, and what feels like it wants to take you to the next level, and what wants to take you to an innovative place. And you have to do that by bridging the gap to your full creative ego. the fifth house is very much your ego, and it's the creative ego. It's not just so much like your desires and what you want, but it's having the courage to shine and put it out there and to do it in your very own unique way that feels good to you. And even with relationships, like connecting to people that are on that next level vibe, that want to go to something great, and they want to do it from a place of courage, and bringing that there. And people, courage is contagious. So when you do it your own way and shake things up, like, people are going to follow suit. And then Mercury, of course, in your 11th house also, like, communicating to people is very important, and communicating your opinions and, creating win-wins in life is very important. That Mercury is going to make really nice aspects to Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn in your first house. And Jupiter, shout out Capricorn, because Jupiter and Saturn are about to move into your second house in less than a month. And that's a big deal. And this is that last hit to your mind of how much work you've really had to do on yourself. And you need to be able to innovate and take that to the next level and bring it to groups and be your true self, and to not shy away from that, and to express yourself in your own unique way that doesn't have to look like any other way. It's just your way. And no restriction, have all the faith that the work that you've put in is the true work of your inner security. It is the true work of the environment you want, and that you're doing it your own unique way. And that is the ultimate creative way. And I would say that that's the power this week to step into is for one, to pat yourself on the back, because you're Jupiter and Saturn are about to rip. Jupiter is going to go all the way through Aquarius in your second house by the end of March. And Saturn's going to be moving fast too. So this is a big deal. And you've gone through a huge makeover in that first house of your identity and your deep instinctual desires. And it's time to bring it out and to verbalize it, and to communicate exactly what you want to innovate moving forward with people. Especially with these eclipses coming in your 12th and your first house, or your 12th and 6th house. You have to build the reality you want, and you can bring that spirituality and you can bring that universe into it, but you have to find the balance. You can't get too lost in one way or another, or even too lost deep within yourself. There's definitely something about bringing it out in your own eccentric kind of way to get the message out there. The Seven of Wands reversed. I think that, it could have felt like this week, maybe you do feel like you're a little backed up into a corner, and you have to kind of fight people away and take the high ground, but it's really not that. You'd be backing yourself into a corner. You've already done the work. It's not about what other people think right now. It's about doing things your own way. It's about doing it in the way that feels aligned with you and bringing it to reality. And I would say that this is, this card reverse is you don't have to fight people off to be yourself. Just be yourself and feel good, and to feel confident and strong and trust that intuition, and to trust what you've done so that you can really innovate and go further. Hope you have a great week. I love you very much, Capricorn. I'll catch you next time. Peace.